Hello, David. Thank you for having me. And yes, I'm Paolo Ardoino. I'm the CTO at Tether, the first and the biggest stablecoin in the market. And I'm also just a simple Bitcoiner, loving what Bitcoin has created for all of us in terms of financial freedom.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today, Paolo. I think we can begin like we always do with all our guests. Tell us about, your journey, how you got into the crypto space, and eventually how you got to work at Tether CTO.
Sure. So I started, I'm a developer, I'm a software engineer, and started coding at the age of 8. I always loved building software because really for me, it's just about creativity. And over time, I grew into being excited and learning about distributed technologies and parallel computing. And I came to know Bitcoin in 2012-13. I was at that time working in the financial industry as a software developer. I had my own startup, but eventually, while I was learning about Bitcoin, I could appreciate the technological innovation that the blockchain, that is the basis of Bitcoin, was bringing in as a new way of creating decentralized finance. But also, I got in love with Bitcoin, the currency. So, for me, Bitcoin was two aspects: the blockchain, so the tech part, and also the currency, so the Bitcoin currency. And so both the aspects, were insanely powerful. The blockchain is a really completely new way for people, normal people, but also for companies and so on, to interact with each other without intermediaries, right? So that everyone can safely see the same data, see the same numbers, can transfer value across this technology. And Bitcoin is the best currency, the currency that has been created by humans, but rely on math, rely on computers, and is this currency that is unstoppable, is a currency that is enabling emerging markets, developing countries, to have something that is actually uncensorable. So I think is the best, the biggest innovation in the financial history in the last 100 years. And I consider myself lucky for having been part of this, a small part of this revolution since almost 10 years now. And over time, I then joined Bitfinex, that is one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges, as a CTO in 2014. And then in 2017, I became the CTO of Tether. I'm a person that loves challenges. I like to think about the worst case scenarios. I think that Bitcoin is the currency for worst case scenarios, right? It's the currency that whatever happens, it's always there for you. You have it, you can control it, it's yours, right? No one can take it from you. And so I am trying to, I'm applying the same concept and philosophy to Tether and all its products. And also, our way of life, our way of creating innovation in both Tether and Bitfinex is all around the same philosophy of Bitcoin.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that, Paolo. I think 10 years is quite some time to be in this space. You obviously have quite a lot of knowledge and experience in this space. And actually, just speaking of that, when you look at USDT right now, USDT has a lot of use cases. Do you mind letting us know some of the use cases for USDT right now and how it's revolutionizing the stablecoin space?
When the arbitrage, I hope that you can cut it and
I think you are at the point where you are talking about the history of Tether from 2014.
Okay. So Tether was born in 2014 for the reason that in 2014 the cryptocurrency exchanges landscape was completely different than compared to today. Back in time, 2014, there was Bitfinex, Bitstamp, Kraken, OKCoin, and Coinbase. Today, of course, there are more than 400 other exchanges, including Binance and others. But back in time, the landscape was different. And one of the main operations that traders in mature market, in efficient market have to do is the arbitrage. That is the operation that is as simple as selling Bitcoin on the exchange where the price is higher for dollars, moving these dollars on the exchange where the price is lower, and then buying Bitcoin back at a lower price, and then back and forth, moving again the Bitcoins from the exchange where the price was, where you bought the Bitcoin on the exchange where the price is higher, selling there, moving the dollars back, and so on and so forth, right? This is called arbitrage. So imagine doing this operation in 2014 through international wires. It was taking 3 to 5 days to move the money across exchanges, and all the trading possibilities, the trading opportunities were completely lost. And so this really simple idea around Tether was why we don't use the beautiful technology that Bitcoin created, the blockchain, and we don't just move dollars on top of it. And so that it's how was born Tether, but actually is how was born the entire stablecoin market. And so at that time, so it took 2-3 years for Tether to grow, but eventually started to be adopted as is currently the most used stablecoin for trading. But in 2020, something happened. During COVID, right? So at the start of the pandemic, we have seen how the pandemic completely changed the way, first of all, cryptocurrencies has been used around the world, but also we have seen how Tether has changed. Tether USDT has changed the way people thought about payments. So and international payments. So when during COVID, it's clear that many countries, I think all the countries in the world, got many issues because, of course, jobs were lost, the economy started to go downhill, and more in many parts of the world, especially in emerging markets, the local national currencies has been starting to devaluate really quickly compared to the dollars, right? So I have friends in Turkey, I have friends in Argentina, and in Venezuela and many other parts. And the common story there is that their national currency has been losing or have lost already between 70 to 90% of its purchasing power compared to the dollar. And so USDT has been for them a lifeline, right? So it was not about speculating on Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, whatever, right? For them, they were holding, and they are holding currently and using USDT just because they don't trust their national currency. They are scared that they will be at the end of the year, they will be poorer than compared to at the beginning of the year. So imagine like you work in Turkey and you get paid Turkish liras. You work all the year, and then your purchasing power to buy any technological equipment, or just imagine you are a parent, you want to send your children to study, I don't know, in Europe, right? So you cannot do that because every month your purchasing power compared to the euro or the dollar is decreasing. So people starting to use heavily USDT for that reason, and we didn't even do any marketing around it. It's just people need to protect themselves. And USDT has been the best way for people to protect themselves and their families. And so for us is the best story because it's we didn't even push this use case. People just find out and use Tether for it. And right now we are hearing people from South America to Africa to Asia using Tether USDT for remittances. Because in the traditional world, right, remittances cost from 5 to 25%. Right, you have a family member that works in Europe, works all the month, and want to send $300 back in in the home country to its family, and then this person is going to pay 25% of the money that he earned in a month with his sweat, right? To make a big company rich. That is unfair, right? So if you use USDT, that costs zero, costs just a few cents for a transaction on chain, and we don't charge anything. So that is the power of modern technology and modern finance. And or I have other friends that are just they have an e-commerce and they're accepting USDT, can expand broadly and open to more customers. Or people like working in BitFinex, we have developers from 59 different countries, BitFinex and Tether, right? People that are working in our company come from 59 different countries. And so we can pay them directly in USDT because USDT is accepted in more than 150 different countries now. And so we can send payments to all our contractors, and they are better protected from the devaluation of their own currencies. They're happy. They can spend this USDT everywhere, from the barber shop to doing groceries, go to the fish market, go everywhere, right? So they can get a coffee. They can pay for everything directly in USDT because it's becoming the most accepted cryptocurrency, but also standard currency, normal currency in the world. So the use cases are growing incredibly, and we are super, super excited about that.
All right, great. Thanks, Paolo, for that breakdown. Now, zeroing in on Africa, as Tether, what are the different products and services that you're offering to the African market that can benefit African users?
Sure. So, I'm sure that is not a surprise for you that the entire world consider Africa the place to be in the next 20 years, right? So Africa is growing insanely. I'm saying that it's super exciting. In a way, it's also saddening that Europe is kind of losing its first mover advantage as well as US. I believe that both Europe and US are sleeping in this moment, right? So they had a first mover advantage. They are not pursuing this amazing opportunity that is leading the cryptocurrency space. They are too used to be wealthy. They are too relaxed on their positions. And then I see Africa, and we have friends in Kenya for sure, but Ghana, Nigeria. There is so much excitement. There is so much appetite for changing the countries from the inside out. And so that is the correct passion, right? That's the correct drive. And so we just want to be part of the story because we understand where the next 20, 30, 50 years of innovation, from where it will come from, and will be it's mainly Africa and possibly South America. And so that's what I see. The opportunities that the Tether has in Africa is collaborating with different countries from at not at the government level, but actually at the city level, at the company level, right? So helping people so we are great in building communications infrastructure. This is a product that I personally love that is called Keep, that is a peer-to-peer video chat, text and video chat. Means that is, first of all, is super private, is much more efficient than Telegram, WhatsApp, Zoom, and whatever else. Has support of like networks, so Bitcoin in this moment, but will get support of Tether. And so it's completely free. Doesn't require any central server, will be free forever. And so that is the thing that, so first of all, the technological innovation when it comes to communications have to go at the same pace of the innovation when it comes to currencies and in finance. So with Tether, we are looking at how we can work with local communities to improve both the financial and communication infrastructure, starting with few countries and communities, and then expanding ourselves. We are in this moment in a really lucky situation, so we can reinvest a lot. Because Tether has been successful for many years, and so we can invest a lot. And it for us is part of the excitement, right? Part of our story is not to try necessarily to make an extra buck after or an extra cent after everything we do, but I think that's part of giving. We have been lucky to be in the Bitcoin space since 10 years or more. And so it's time that is part of our journey also to give back and invest in actually the next generations of people that will keep building this on top of this technology. And so that's why we are excited. We are seeing ourselves to invest in Africa and really bring, small data centers. We plan to build. We are looking at mining. We are looking at bringing actually, improving communication lines. We are investing in communication, in financial infrastructure, bringing like point of sales and all this stuff, and also we are investing in hardware, especially that could bring a lot of value, I think, in some specific countries in Africa. So it's right now we are forming a strategy that already started in a small way. We are testing, the waters, but that is, if I have to say, that really Africa is our focus.
All right. So let me just ask, or just for clarity, you mentioned that the product again, the P2P product again.
Keet, KEET.io is the website.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that. Now, when you talk about the products that are happening, I know you've already mentioned the initiatives that Tether is undertaking in Africa. What other plans do you have as well for promoting financial freedom in emerging markets?
So it's all about education. So we are partnering with different groups in Africa and in South America and in certain regions of Asia, because we are seeing cryptocurrencies has been cryptocurrencies can be used in two ways. First of all, as with their utility, that is broadening, simplifying payments, and protecting people's wealth, or speculation. And I think that many times people are, attracted by the speculation aspects, and they miss the opportunity to understand how actually cryptocurrencies are so powerful, not just because you can make a quick buck, right? But they are powerful because they can change your business, they can improve your business, they can improve your community, they can protect your community. And so we're investing in educational events. So we are writing material, we are doing video series, we are also again bringing technology, we're bringing hardware, and providing this in full courses that will be free for everyone, because I think is the way to go. It's for people to understand better the technology so they can leverage this technology for their own businesses.
All right, great. Now let's move on to a different topic that tends to be a bit controversial, and that's regulation, right? We are seeing the challenges around regulation across the globe, really. What would you say is Tether's role in handling regulation, amid the speculations around stablecoins? What are you guys doing, along those lines, or along those lines?
Sure. So Tether is actually working already with many regulators around the world as part of our job, right? So we are centralized stablecoin, means that we are part also, we are using and relying on the banking system to issue and redeem Tethers. So for this reason, even more so for this reason, we have to be aware of all the regulations, and we have to work with the regulators, but also law enforcement around the world to make sure that Tether remains a safe asset. Over the history of Tether, we have been helping regulators and law enforcement with many hundreds of different investigations that they have, not just related to USDT, but in general for in the industry. We have been able with Tether to freeze and return back to their legitimate owners more than $200 million worth of Tether. In DeFi, I'm sure that you are familiar with the fact that in DeFi there have been many hacks. Bridges and DeFi lending pools has been hacked. Centralized exchanges have been hacked. And we always work with both these parties and law enforcement and regulators to make sure that we can act quickly and help recover the funds and give them back. So this is just an example of how it's important to have a broad knowledge of regulations, how you should engage in the different countries, how you should abide to the different laws of the different countries, and how you should have law enforcement of the different countries.
Okay. All right. Now, another, I would say, a bit of a controversial topic is CBDCs. Some people have compared stablecoins with CBDCs. Some argue, what's the difference? Would you mind telling us or would you mind giving us your opinion on CBDCs and the difference between CBDCs and USDT?
That's a really good question. I think people are, so there are a few countries in the world that have already issued their own CBDC, and there are many others that are interested to issue their CBDC. So first of all, the CBDC is gonna be, or at least in the countries that already issued it, is fully issued by the central bank. And that's kind of scary because so far, right? So if you are managing cash, if you have bank account in your own country, if you make some transactions, these transactions are remaining within your bank or remain, within, if you use cash, you have the highest level of privacy. But with CBDCs, every single transaction could end up in the central bank hands, right? So now the government, the central bank, will have direct hold of every single transaction, and then will get all the information about everyone. And so that's kind of scary because it could become rebellion in a way, right? So like 1984, where you have the big brother looking at every single step. So that is a big shift because I think it's going to reduce privacy, that is a fundamental right of everyone. At the same time, I think that when we think about CBDCs, they are not threatening stablecoins like USDT, because stablecoins like USDT are using public blockchains like Ethereum, like Tron, like many others, and it's unrealistic that a central bank will do the same thing using a public blockchain and without having control over it, right? So central banks want to have full control over what they put out, about their services. Imagine if there is remember when there was the hard fork on Ethereum between proof of work and proof of stake, right? And so imagine a central bank that have to deal with that, right? They don't want to have to deal with that. They want just to issue a product that they can control. So I'm pretty sure that CBDCs will just be a replacement of the current money that is already digital in many ways, because if you have a bank account, your money is already digital. But also we have they will have a much more aggressive control over people's money. And especially in countries where the freedom of speech is not well received, that can be even more problematic. So I think actually CBDCs are the products that will push more and more USDT to be successful, because it's a much more open, transparent, secure way to save your money compared to the CBDCs.
All right, I'm totally in agreement with you on that. Now, as we wind up, Paolo, let's talk about Tether Gold. Do you mind letting us know, for people who are looking to invest, what Tether Gold is and why it's a great asset, for investment?
Yes, so Tether Gold is tokenization of real gold bars, right? So Tether Gold is fully 100% backed by real gold. Is London good bars. They are all well reviewed and audited. And the reason why to create Tether Gold is that USDT is a great product, but is linked to the US economy. And I think gold is the ultimate stable coin, right? Before 1971, I think it was Nixon that removed, before 1971, the national currencies were linked to the gold. A government could not print new money unless they were buying more gold for their central bank. But after 1971, that was completely stopped, and the economy and so the inflation started to go incredibly up. And that's a shame, because it has created many issues in our current economy. And so with Tether Gold, we think that we can bring access to people in a simple way, in a modern way, to the best currency, apart Bitcoin, of course, to the best currency that humanity ever had. And gold has been used for the last 5,000 years for people in every country, Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, and more recently US and Canada, as a way to exchange wealth, right? As a way of payment, right? From the ancient Egyptians to the Romans to Greeks, everyone was using gold, and so I feel like gold is the natural Bitcoin, because as Bitcoin is scarce, as Bitcoin is hard to extract, and so creating a stable coin that is not subject to inflation is really important. And Tether Gold is not a replacement for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the best cryptocurrency in the world. At the same time, sometimes you need to diversify your assets, and I think gold is really the best way to do that.
All right. Thank you for that clarification. So, Paolo, as we wind up, I don't know, do you have any last words to our listeners, a word of advice or anything?
Well, first of all, I want just to thank everyone for the support that we see coming for Tether coming from Africa. Is astonishing. It is just increasing our excitement and our interest to be there and to be helpful. So thank you very much.